Hey, welcome back to Woodworking with Wes. Today I have a very unusual molding that I would like to show you. I think you're going to find it very interesting. You may have never ever seen it before. Let's get started. You'll be surprised how basic skills and a simple jig is the key to making this molding. You'll see how we can turn this simple stick into a beautiful piece of molding. Let's go. We'll start off by talking about the wood that we're going to be using to make our molding. I'm using black walnut, but any kind of wood will work. I milled my piece 1/2 inch thick and 1 inch wide. The jig that we're going to use is our box joint jig. Now we have a video that shows you how to build this box joint jig, and I'm going to provide you with a link to that. We have installed our stack dado head to 3/8 of an inch wide. And now I'll talk about the measurements here as we go. Let's bring our original piece of molding back in. All right. One of the things that makes this molding look good is the fact that all of our pieces, I hope you can see this really well. Let's put it over here on the white so you can see it better. All of the pieces of solid wood all the way around are the same thickness. Now remember, this is 1 inch wide. Our thicknesses are 3/8 of an inch. Our slots are 3/8 of an inch, but they're 5/8 of an inch high in order to make the 3/8 of an inch here. That gives a little more definition to our slots and maintains our 3/8 of an inch snake look on our molding that goes around and around and around. Now it's so simple to make. Let's go ahead and get started making a piece. I'll show you exactly how to do this, and it's just so nice and simple and yet very decorative. One of the measurements that we have to take care of or keep in mind first is the fact that we have 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, and so this measurement between our slots is going to be 1 inch and 1/8 because we have 3/8, 3/8, 3/8. That is 1 inch and 1/8. I have set my pin on my box joint jig at 1 1/8 inch to make our first cut. So what we'll do, we'll set our piece of molding here, our stick here. This is 1 1/8 inch. Our stack dado head is set to 5/8 of an inch high, which, like I said, is the depth of our slot. So we're 5/8 of an inch, leaving 3/8 left over on our 1 inch measurement. All right, let's just make a few cuts and see what we end up with to get started. I know what we're going to end up with, and it's going to be cool, but let's get started. You can see that our pin, by moving our slot from pin to pin, just like you would on a box joint jig, creates that 1 1/8 inch that every space needs to be. So let's go ahead and continue our cuts. We'll turn on our dust collector and do the rest of them. After we completed our cuts on our one side, we just flip our stick directly over, so we still start from the same end. Now I have taken my little square, measured 3/8, 3/8, and 3/8. We need to cut out this little slot right here so that it continues our pattern. And I will bring my piece of wood over here and line my marks. Hopefully you can see that. I'm lining my marks up with my dado blade. My first one, I'm just going to have to hold really good by making sure that I keep my hands out of the way. I'm going to make my first cut on my marks that I made. So let's do that. Okay, there's our first cut. Now we just repeat our process by using the pin on our box joint jig. Let's show you that. And look how we have duplicated our pattern from our original piece. See how they line up together? See how easy that is? And once you get your first 2 cuts made, it's just repeating the process using your box joint jig. This is a really unique molding, very unusual. I don't know that, like I say, I don't know that very many people have seen it. You may have, but maybe not. But here's an easy way to do it, and it looks so unique. I got thinking after I did it, what if I wanted to make a really thin piece of this? This is pretty heavy, chunky, 1/2 inch. Well, you could take a board that was, and like I say, you can make this any size you want just by just by doing the math so that it, you keep your dimensions corresponding the same kind of relationship. There we go. That's the word I'm after. Keeping your math in the same relationship so that your pieces of wood are all the same all the way around, your slots are the same kind of pattern is duplicated regardless of the size. Anyway, if I were wanting to make some real thin pieces, what I would do is make a board that was 1 inch thick and however wide, and do the same thing by cutting my slots, and then when I got all done, I could take a thin cut off of that block of wood and end up with a very thin molding. I'm going to try that, but I'm not today. But anyway, let's go ahead and make the rest of our cuts and put the 2 together and see how they look together. Okay, there's our 2 pieces of molding. You can see how that just by using that simple box joint jig, you can duplicate this molding over and over. Let's put it together with something and see how it works. Like, let's do it on a piece of crown mold. Well, I hope you enjoyed the little molding that we made and how simple and decorative it is. I put it on a piece of crown mold so you can see how it could be used. It'd be great for a mantle or a wall entertainment center or a bookcase, something like that. A little tip, if you're doing finishing, paint or stain, pre-finish your piece, a little easier to get into the little notches. By the way, we would also like to invite you to go to woodworkingwithwes.com. We have some fun things going on there too, and we're going to see you next time on Woodworking with Wes.